This short video I prepared with the use of artificial intelligence just to use the opportunities, and please find in the description to this video a link to this presentation and also presentation which is prepared another at source of artificial intelligence, and this is which is probably better. Just for comparison, try to this and that. So let's go. The idea is so-called intermittent living. So it is like for health and lifespan extension. It actually should work, I believe. It should work. And so it's let's start. And as I said, text was prepared with artificial intelligence, with ChatGPT and Bing. So this is, I mean, relatively official version, and I didn't contribute much myself, but nevertheless just want to present it. Okay, short-term mono-metabolic stressors, including hunger, thirst, cold, and heat, have traditionally molded adaptive systems for survival and reproduction, causing short-term inflammation, insulin resistance, and sympathetic nervous system activation. Surprisingly, these low-level stressors have the capacity to repair physiological and metabolic imbalances linked with typically Western diseases, hence presenting low-cost chances for secondary prevention. In contrast, the extended absence of such mild stress factors have made modern humans more vulnerable to large toxic assaults and the development of metabolic disorders and other chronic diseases associated with affluence. Okay, so we see this modern style, Western diet and Western life. So it's related to obesity and development of all this senescence degradation of the body. Okay, specific intermittent stress elements, when coupled, trigger a hormetic early stress response, which leads to improved metabolic and immunological markers, as well as increased general well-being, according to research findings. Intermittent fasting, intermittent exposure to heat and cold, intermittent hypoxia, intermittent drinking, and the time-restricted consumption of meals gave hormetic effects. These are examples of hormetic triggers. Using these intermittent challenges as a part of a scheduled regimen, as known as intermittent living, may serve as protection against the negative effects of modern life. Intermittent living comprises using ancestral stressors intermittently on a daily basis or weekly basis for a set length of time, often 7 days per month, and can be thought of as a basic strategy for interventions targeted at controlling chronic diseases and preventing them. So we see this typical intermittent stressors like intermittent eating, intermittent drinking, and intermittent fasting, and intermittent exposure to cold or to heat, and intermittent exercise and hypoxia. And interesting, the intermittent also exposure to high concentration of carbon dioxide. This is also interesting method and very easy to apply. Okay, this is what we see. Stress factors to improve health. Intermittent living is actually the reintroduction of mild environmental-based short-term stresses, including cold, heat, hunger, and thirst. Individuals with persistent diseases who adopt intermittent living as a key principle may enhance their health parameters and avoid additional problems. However, changing behavior and external factors isn't the only approach to boost beneficial cellular stress responses like autophagy. The authors of this publication, I used as a source, advocate that a broader program of periodic challenges be presented as a best practice for human health and can be highly recommended along regular exercise against premature aging implication. Okay, as an example of it's intermittent, and so that's, the authors of the publication, they discussed what is the dosage of the intermittent stressors, and as an example, they rely to this research which shows that ascorbic acid, in the doses of ascorbic acid, they have optimum. So when official medicine recommend to take doses below 650 milligram per day, because at higher doses we have negative effects. Dr. Linus Pauling recommended the use of more than 3,000 milligram of ascorbic acid, and this is related to cancer treatment and cancer prevention. Personally, I take 5 gram and more, and this is again helps to keep my body alive, because not only cancer prevention and treatment, but also it is it helps to keep my body from illness like infections. So, but mostly stress factors have some sweet point that they have optimum exposure. If you go to exercise, if it is too much, then you get negative effect. But if it is not enough, then it is also not good. You get sarcopenia, for example, in older age. But then there is a sweet point. So the task is to find these sweet points for everybody. But in case of ascorbic acid or vitamin C, I believe better to work in this area. Okay. So as I said, sources were Bing and ChatGPT today, and I was referring. It was referred to 3 publications, official open source publications, so anybody can read them. And this idea, again, it is quite official idea, but without certain recommendations, how long it should be, we should fast in, how long we have to use intermittent exercise, etc., and how intense, etc. So everybody have to find own sweet point. But personally, I take intermittent fasting or restricted time eating, and then I also follow carnivore diet, which is I consider also as a stress factor, but very useful stress factor. And spices, in this sense, also stress, kind of stress which can be used. Okay, that's it all. Thank you for taking the time to watch the video. It is just one more illustration that we can use artificial intelligence. And as I said, links to the presentation you can find in the description to this video. Please comment, subscribe, like, ask questions, and share information. And again, I tried to develop for myself some practical way to find this sweet point. Of course, it needs experimentation, but it works. In principle, it works. Okay, have a wonderful day. Ciao, ciao.